Welcome everyone, this is the 18th of March. This is a short video about some news articles yesterday which claim that the government is considering to index all the benefits in every year by either the inflation or the wage increase, depending on which one is the higher. Now, this week I have presented the numbers what beneficiaries might expect after the government announcement on Monday, which claim that main benefits will increase by 7.2% this year to cover the inflation. Now, you might remember these numbers, what it means for a sole job seeker or sole parent. These are the figures here, just the reminder. So altogether, with all the second tier and the third tier benefits, job seekers can expect on average more than $511 a week. In terms of the sole parents, they can expect a bit more because the main benefit is higher, the accommodation supplement, all the second tier and third tier benefits are higher too for them. Altogether, on average, I have to repeat it, they can expect more than $863 a week in 2023. Now, what this pegging of the benefits means, what the indexation would cover. Well, the recommendation or the proposal what the government is considering is to implement the recommendation of the Welfare Expert Advisory Group, which finished their work in 2019. It was their recommendation that every year benefits should increase by the inflation or the wage increase, which one is the higher. Now, in this short video, I have to tell you my opinion about it. It's not that good, and I will show you why. Because in the long run, this will mean that practically benefits will increase more or at the same pace as wages. Is it good? Let's see. In terms of the job seekers, it might be interesting to know how much they can earn if they work 40 hours a week. Well, job seekers are usually young guys who do not have relevant work experience. Therefore, when they start working, most likely they can expect only the minimum wage, which is $22.70 an hour. If they work 40 hours a week, they can expect $771.8 net income after tax. And this means a 50.93% increase in their weekly income. Well, that's nice on paper, but normally, unfortunately, because of the flexible labor market conditions, they usually can expect only 32 hours a week. Now, this would result in $617.44 net income a week. The reason why I say that it might be more, it might be still 720, is because if they work only 30 hours a week, they can still receive the accommodation supplement, which was more than $100. This is altogether an estimate. $720 is an estimate what they can expect. Well, it is still 40% higher, 40.8% higher than their weekly income if they live solely on the benefits. Well, that's okay, that's an okay increase, but it is funny, if they work only 8 hours a week, they can expect a 30.1% increase in their weekly income because none of the benefits start cutting off. They can still receive the whole amount of the $511 a week. And from this point on, if they work 1 hour, an additional hour of work can result in only about $2 or $3 income. Now that's not good. Yeah, you can obviously see working 8 hours a week and receiving $665. Well, that's a pretty good hourly rate. That's how much is that? It's about more than $80 an hour. Well, that's a good salary, I would say. Yeah. So the difference between working 8 hours and 32 and receiving only 10% point higher income, well, that's not a really good option, is it? So unfortunately, how the abatement thresholds work in the benefit system is not lucky. If we compare the same numbers to the median income, well, the expected median income in 2023 could be more than $915 a week if someone doesn't have child. This increase, 79.06%, is relatively good. Now, problem comes when we compare the median income to the sole parent support. As I showed, it can be $863.03 a week net income. A sole parent is absolutely not incentivized to work 8 hours a week or 32. Yeah, and even the median income is just 6.1% higher than living solely on the sole parent support in a week. Now, this shows that having a baby is a weird incentive, but actually, unfortunately, it pays off. I am saying unfortunately because having a baby shouldn't be a target based on financial goals. It's weird to say, but that's my opinion. So altogether, the child-related supports create disincentives to work, which is practically sad. Now, after all these calculations, I have to tell that the Welfare Expert Advisory Group recommendation is highly problematic because it means benefits will catch up to wages, decreasing the incentives to work even higher. My recommendation would be to increase the benefits by the inflation or by the rate of inflation plus GDP growth, whichever is smaller. Now, why I'm saying smaller? If the GDP is negative, that means the sum of the GDP growth and the inflation is smaller than the inflation. That will mean when setting the increase of the benefits, the governments will consider the productivity decrease of the whole economy. Practically, they would consider what the economy can allow to pay for beneficiaries. Now, on the other hand, if the minimum wage grows by either the inflation or by the inflation and the GDP growth, if the GDP is positive, that means the minimum wage is allowed to grow further and in a greater pace than the benefits. In the long run, this will create incentives to work. Now, that would be a goal. Recently, anyway, Business New Zealand recommended to increase the abatement thresholds from $160 to $300 or $320 because that would reduce the labor shortage. Now, this will mean people could work 16 hours a week without their benefits cutting off entirely. If we go back to these numbers, yeah, $320 plus $863, that would mean a sole parent working 16 hours a week would earn more than the median income. Now, can we afford that? No. Actually, unfortunately, the Business New Zealand recommendation itself shows that the benefit system is already way too generous. I'm sorry. This is my opinion. Now, there is another idea which might solve the problem of setting the benefits on a weekly amount and setting the wages on hourly rates. It is an inherent contradiction. Governments might set the minimum wage based on a weekly basis. In this case, they would clearly set when an individual starts working, they will increase their weekly income with a sufficient amount. Either it is 30% or 50%, it doesn't really matter. Well, it matters. I would say 50% would be ideal, but 30% might be a start because at the moment the flexible labor market conditions unfortunately allows employers to transform the business risks to employees. That means, workers cannot expect dependable incomes every year. They have to struggle a lot to secure enough hours in every week for themselves. That would be my pick on sorting this out. Once somebody is employed, the employer should provide enough hours a week. It shouldn't be the employee's problem to find enough hours in a week. It should be the employer's problem. That's what would create proper balance on the labor market. That would help to create incentives, and I believe in the long term that would be a healthy economy in New Zealand. This is my pick. This is my opinion about the possibilities what the government is considering at the moment. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next one.